And now, it's Boomer Life. Lifestyle discussion designed to make your life more engaging, meaningful, and complete. Celebrating the baby boomer generation, this is Boomer Life on Sea 650.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
Well, good morning, and welcome to Boomer Life here on Sea 650. A little Bing Crosby in the background reminding us exactly what time of year it is. And, well, of course, we're going to talk with our friends from ShannonOaks here on the program, and it's a big Christmas day over there. We'll find out about it all in just a couple of seconds as we welcome back Jillian Fullerton, Sales and Marketing Manager for Baptist Housing, British Columbia, and one of the team members at ShannonOaks, Vancouver. Nice to see you again.
Good morning. It's great to be here, Sterling.
So let's get right to it. Christmas open house coming up in what, Mel?
2 hours.
Just under 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours.
2 o'clock
right.
this afternoon.
2 to 4 this afternoon, an open house. There'll be Santa Claus for the kids. There'll be all sorts of Christmas baking, hot apple cider, Christmas music, crafts. Come on around and see. And you can look around.
Didn't we just go through one of these open houses a couple of months ago on a Saturday afternoon? It was the carnival. That's
it was
right.
a carnival.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. That's got a little different theme.
Of course. Of course. And, of course, ShannonOaks looks quite different now.
This last week we've decorated it completely. We've got the trees up everywhere. We've got nativity scenes. We've got little villages. We've got wreaths. We've got lights. We've got everything. So people have to come. It looks like, the old sort of traditional Christmas look,
Right.
that warm sort of inviting feeling throughout all of ShannonOaks.
Well, and it should look like that. It's full of people who appreciate that old traditional Christmas ambiance,
Yes.
and that's very important to them.
Yeah, it is.
I know
definitely.
people who are big Christmas fans. They start getting excited and shopping in July.
Oh, dear.
And the fall comes
dear.
around. Oh, I mean, their peak season of the year is Christmas. It's just it's the top of the mountain.
Oh,
and so I imagine a person, I'm thinking specifically of one person in my life that would walk into ShannonOaks this afternoon and go, "Oh my, this is perfect."
Yes, it is. It definitely is perfect.
My kind of place for my Christmas friend.
And a lot of people come. So come early, enjoy yourself, listen to the music, eat the food, have some apple cider, have a tour.
I was just going to say, but all of the decorations and all the busyness, though, is it still an okay time to scoot around and have a tour?
We've got more people on staff there. Everybody's out. Yeah, everybody's there working. So, yes, it's going to be fully able to do tours.
Okay, now
our suites will be open, our display suites and everything. So.
Now, if I want to come by, I can just come by and walk in. If, however, I would like the attention of you or one of your colleagues for a 5 to 10 minute tour, just to walk through, should I call in advance and try and set that up, or should I just show up and wing it?
That would be good if you called. You'd give us your name, and so we'd be on the lookout for you.
Okay.
So 604-324-6257.
Okay.
324-6257.
It's on the website too, friends. It's not a test item, but we will repeat the phone number many times through the hour. And you don't have to call in advance.
No, you don't.
But if you'd like to have a look around and talk to someone like Jillian or Kirsten or one of your other teammates,
that's right.
Then just let them know you're coming.
Exactly.
They'll find
just
time
come to the
for
front
you.
desk and say, "Hey, I would love to have a tour," and they'll call us.
Baptist Housing, you are their sales and marketing manager for British Columbia. Baptist Housing operates ShannonOaks, and on this particular piece of real estate in East Vancouver where ShannonOaks sits, it's been part of Baptist Housing now for over 50 years.
That's correct. We had our 50th anniversary last year, and it was wonderful. It started out as just a rental home for a low rental 50 years ago, and then it came into a licensed care facility, and then all that was taken down, and ShannonOaks Independent Living was built.
Right.
And then Clarendon Court, which is assisted living, and an addition to our independent living, ShannonOaks, was built.
Right.
That was 2001, independent living was built.
And now we should also point out to our friends on Vancouver Island, there is another ShannonOaks in British Columbia. It's on Goldsmith Street in Oak Bay in the Victoria area. How long has that property been around?
That's a little younger than ShannonOaks,
I
Vancouver.
thought so, yeah.
Yes, it was built a few years after. But it's a beautiful, it's same theme, same warm sort of architecture, same sort of inviting appeal to it. And you speak to Leo Martin. He is a wonderful man that would be more than happy to show you around.
And, of course, they're all online at ShannonOaks.com, both Shannon Oaks, Vancouver, and Victoria. All you just do is just pull up ShannonOaks.com, and your screen will present you with two options, Vancouver or Victoria.
That's right.
Select the one closest to you or the one you're most curious about, and off you go. And the phone number and the address and the map and everything, it's all right there on the website.
Exactly. It is.
Now, talk to us about Baptist housing, Jillian. We've got Shannon Oaks, Vancouver, and Victoria, and you talked about Clarendon Court, which is part of Shannon Oaks, Vancouver. That's three properties.
It's
how many?
Separate. It's connected to it, but it's a separate entity. It's funded assisted living.
Right.
Clarendon Court is. It's connected. They get meals out of our kitchen, but it's more care involved in Clarendon Court.
How many communities?
16 communities throughout BC.
Okay.
We're Canadian owned. We're all in BC. It's run by Baptist Housing Foundation.
Right.
You do not have to be Christian to live there, but you do benefit from the Christian sort of philosophy, way of life, the sense of compassion and caring. You do not have to be Christian. And I would say maybe a little over 50% of our residents are in fact Christian. But we've got Muslim, we've got Jewish, we've got people of no faith.
Right.
All sorts, but they enjoy what we give them there.
Right. We have a guest in our studio with us that I've been dying to include in the conversation. It's a real pleasure to welcome Irene McGeorge to Boomer Life. Hello, Irene.
Hello, Stu.
Thank you for joining us today. You are a resident at Shannon Oaks, and you're one of the new people. You've been there less than a year now, right?
That's right.
But you're a local person, too. We're talking about 50 years ago, or almost 51 years ago now, when that original piece of real estate, that original home was purchased by Baptist Housing, British Columbia. You are an East Vancouver person who's been there almost as long as Shannon Oaks.
Yes, I have been.
So what part of town are you from then?
I'm from East Vancouver.
East Vancouver, all right.
Just a 15-minute walk from Shannon Oaks. Rupert and 43rd.
Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, and how long did you live there?
48 years.
Oh, my.
Heavens.
Brand new home. We moved in there 48 years ago.
Okay, and help us to understand the process, Irene, that brought you from 48 years in the neighborhood to moving into Shannon Oaks a few months back.
Did you raise a family in the home?
Yes, we did. We had when we moved there, we had 4 little girls. We raised our children, our girls. They all got married and left, and Jack and I were alone. And my husband, Jack, died 3.5 years ago. Even after he died, I did have my grandson living with us and going to BCIT. And so that was good.
Right,
I had
sure.
someone there.
Someone in the house
that's
to help
right,
you out.
To cook with and eat
Sure.
with, and that's right. But then I was alone for about 6 months, and after a few falls, which were a little scary, and a fainting, as I told you, my girls had said, "Okay, Mom, you're not leaving your house." So I was under house arrest, as I call it.
Your children placed you under house
well,
arrest.
they said, "I don't want you going out there until we come and see you." So
after having fallen a couple of times, they got nervous about you. Okay.
So while I was under house arrest, I guess I call it, I started thinking, and I thought, Shannon Oaks sounds good to me. I've never been there, but I've walked by it many times.
Well, you and your husband were big walkers, right? So as you walked through your neighborhood, it was only a matter of a few minutes away from where you lived,
and we did our grocery shopping across the street at Killarney Market.
Of course. So you and Jack used to walk by Shannon Oaks a lot.
Many times.
And did you ever discuss, what would it be like to move in there?
Well, we did. I could say maybe someday we will, but my husband was a little apprehensive about it. Well, it might cost too much, so it never happened, of course, because my husband died, and probably if he had lived, we still would be living in our home because he was a real homebody.
Sure.
And so after I was alone for a while, and living alone is not much fun either.
No.
So when this happened under house arrest, I thinking, okay. So when my daughter came to see me, I said, I think I've been thinking about Shannon Oaks. So I phoned and made an appointment, and my daughter came with me. We had a tour. I came home and I said, that's it. Then we put our house up for sale.
Isn't that interesting? So, Jillian, this is Irene's story differs. This is Boomer life, and you and I have spent a fair bit of time
we have.
over the last many months
say.
trying to educate people our age. Jillian and I are boomers, and with senior parents, and so we spend a lot of time talking about how to educate boomers to know about these senior living community options like ShannonOaks, so then in turn we can inform our parents about it and maybe help them make a good decision to move to one of these communities. You did a complete bypass. You didn't need any input from any of your four daughters. This was a decision you took by yourself, about yourself, and that was that.
That's right.
Irene is a very independent lady.
I was going to say I am, yes, and I make up my mind without even asking people to help me. I'm that way, very independent, and so I do that, and I did it, and I have no regrets. I have no regrets.
And here's a really interesting part of the story, and it was so nice to have a cup of tea with you before we started and learning about this, because you told us already, you mentioned a moment ago. This is how Vancouver works in 2015. You have lived in this home in East Vancouver for close to 50 years. Your husband passes away. You decide after a couple of lonely years and a couple of scary falls, no, gotta get out. So what's the plan going to be? Well, you're going to try and sell the house and use the proceeds to move on. So this is classic Vancouver. Pick it up from here on the Friday. On the Friday, you called your realtor.
Yes, my daughter called our realtor, and he came over to see us that day. Put up next Saturday morning, he came, put the signs. It was rather an odd feeling to have those signs go up there, for sale.
It is weird, isn't it? I've done it once, and it just feels horrible.
I know, but I did it. I was not going to retract my step.
Sure, of course.
So next day sold, within 48 hours, I guess you'd say. Sunday evening at 7 o'clock, I was down at Sutton Realty, which is right across from ShannonOaks, and signed the papers, and we got more than we asked for.
Now, Jillian, isn't that the classic unraveling of the Vancouver story?
It
You call the realtor Friday, you put up the sign on Saturday, and you sell the house, and Irene added hastily, for more than we were asking, on Sunday. 3 days. The whole thing's done. And so all of those years of planning and saving and organizing with that end game somewhere in the distant future, all of a sudden, bang, payback time.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
How did it feel then? You mean
when you sold the house? Probably mixed emotions, I would think, eh?
Yes. Well, how did I feel? The big job ahead of me.
Yeah.
but we had 3 months. I didn't move until April 1st. Yeah. We sold the house January, so we had 3 months. But it was still a big job. 48 years living in a home.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I thought my husband was a clutterbug, saving things, but I found out I saved a lot of things too.
Oh, you turned out to be as much of a hoarder as your husband?
Yes, I was too, and you do that.
But it's hard, though, isn't it? And you look at things. I since I'm in the industry, I've been going through some of my things, saying, okay, I really got to thin things down here a bit, and it's this is what my daughter made when she was 8.
I know.
And how can I part with this?
Yep.
But you know what I did? I packed them all up in a suitcase and went to visit them and gave them to them.
All right. And, well, Irene, I'm going to get you to hang on to your secrets, because you have 4 daughters, and you had 48 years in one postal code, in one home.
Yes.
And then you had to change your life around in 3 months or less and move into a seniors community, ShannonOaks. And we'll find out how that was accomplished. 48 years worth of, shall we say, accumulation that had to be dealt with by a very strong-willed woman.
Yes.
Irene McGeorge is with us, as is Jillian Fullerton from ShannonOaks, the home of the Christmas open house this afternoon from 2 to 4. We'll tell you lots more about that when we return on Boomer Life here on CIL 650.
Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CIL 650.